My dears, hello! I'm pleased as a gout-ridden fish that you could join me today for the grand finale of The Witch Hunters. Lane McLeod Jackson has taken us on quite a ride with... Wait, what's that smell? You fool! You led them right to me! Traitor! Spy! Incompetent! This is the last time you'll be welcome at my fire, but this isn't the last time you'll see the crone.
Sublime and I have never been so close. Squeezed together, descending upwards through the shadow. Air ripped from our lungs, our bodies twisted about the other. Not even in those months she'd taken me to bed, or rather against the moss in these very woods. No one like her. Her strength inhuman, her desire shameful. No one could know, and she punished me for any accidental pleasure I might take. Magic for her was physical, so muscles would spread across her shoulders, biceps, and forearms as thickening fingers wrapped around my throat while she rode me. One of my healthier relationships, in fact, I appreciate the direct approach. In the howling, I hear sickly, unfinished gasping, and turn to find Sublime trying to speak. Useless. But of course I can't respond. This will unfortunately make everything more painful for her. Nothing to be done now. A few more minutes. We've returned to where this evening truly began. A small alley located near a brassy real estate bitch who, if I survive, is certainly getting an invitation for coffee. Hey, you only live once. Sublime vomits directly into the gutter. I hold her hair back, not out of concern, but we have to keep up appearances. It's gotta seem like we're drunk and stumbling home, officer. Nothing to see here. Nothing to delay or entrap us. Hate how fucking heroic you can be, Toad Boy. Sublime grins upwards. Guess throwing you a lei wasn't a complete waste of time, huh? Afraid it was, I respond. Got a sore duty after all, protecting my coven from all threats foreign and domestic. Slight specks of vomit grip the edges of her lips and chin. My gloved hands wipe them away. Besides, Sublime, you seem to enjoy this particular bad habit. Wasn't it almost a year? I know you didn't stay for the face. She looks at me with an expression I cannot identify. Pick sad or cocky, Mortimer, 'cause otherwise you're fucking exhausting. Returned in force, Sublime spits. So who we going to kill? Everyone, I want to answer. Josephine, Carol, Monica, followed by the entire coven. I'd even put a bullet through Sublime. They all may be vicious and cruel, yet still, somehow, everyone depends on ugly little Morty. But I know that's simply grief screaming in my ear. I've always processed my hurt through fury. Give it a moment. The homicidal rage will pass. First, let's make sure Andromeda is alright. I doubt they'll go after her now that we're both alive, but better safe than sorry. I've got some goodies here, and I'll lend them without hidden cost. Gratitude, an expression I've only observed in reference to others, crosses my new partner's face. Saving a life? Sure, that's my duty. But not using this opportunity to twist her fate, put her in my debt? Well, it's a kindness bordering on lunacy. And I've never missed an opportunity to hold others in my power before. It's how I rose to prominence. But I already see how tonight is going to end, and despite it all, I so do love my friends. Let's hurry then, Sublime manages. There is no straggler around to offer a sacrifice. The night is deep, and even the lost souls have found places to slumber. But I don't like going to my cache without testing the water. But time does tick. What are we waiting for? Sublime looks around the corner. I'm not keen to share this secret. Let's go. Even from here, I take a couple of wrong turns before finding the basement double doors. Sublime politely turns away as my whispered spell causes the wood to hiss and rise as vapor. Total darkness greets us, and I hesitate, but Sublime does not. The moment she crosses the threshold, a scream violates the night. Two voices. First, an unknown but mutilated set of vocal cords. A combination of animal and human mixed together in fury. The second comes from Sublime. Dripping an ivory countercharm, I dart into my home. She's there, alive, fingers digging into the frame, but she's not alone. A mutated host of tentacles burrow themselves into her back, the rustic clothing around her torso torn. I see where those long tendrils spread. New infected veins burst along her skin, growing larger with each passing thought. At her shoulders, pustules collect until they rupture, blood exploding outward, decorating the drywall, until the flow is finally interrupted, clogged by mouthed appendages, thick fleshy stalks, flashing teeth, and continuing to scream. I step forward to help, but she shakes her head as these newest monstrosities begin to circle her neck. Jade! She hisses through clenched teeth, not because of the pain, but she doesn't want to provide another opening. Good, because legs sprout, one by a dozen from the expanding double heads. This lets the tendril crawl around her throat. A song occurs to me unprompted. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Fortunately, horror has remained the constant companion of my life. It does not cause paralysis, most of the time. As I watch the progress of the thickening alien body, my fingers find their way into the geoshelf. The smooth body of the greenstone almost slips from my fingertips. Turning, I see one toothy head has stopped at her lips, gently caressing Sublime's closed mouth, slicing the pressed pink gateway. Blood trickles down her chin. The other tentacle drags itself towards Sublime's eyes. Unwilling to risk even grunting, she tears out a piece of the wall, thrusting her hand towards me. From her ring and pinky knuckles, new friends begin to break free. At this joint, the bones and muscle must be weak. I'm passing the rock into her palm as those two fingers drop from her hand, torn apart from the inside. But her three remaining digits close around the polished salvation. Sublime crushes the gift. It powders, falling to the floor. The screaming from the monster grows more frantic, and one sharpened, toothy end plunges into her left eye, burrowing through the soft flesh and feasting on the bloody grape, but it's too late. Sublime's changes are never for disguise. Deception never appealed to her sense of honesty. No, she's a hunter. The soft, vulnerable body this thing had expected to feast upon turned on the intruder. Whatever tried to spread inside the skin found itself crushed as her muscles expanded. Her own blood vessels coursed with inky death, poison to most, death to this. The three fingers on her right hand bleed from the claws bursting out of her nails. Sublime's other hand snaps to her face, squeezing the helpless flame thing, which still tries to swallow her other eye. Within breaths, its pulp in her hand. The other head finds her mouth suddenly open and filled with fangs and revenge. The original nest of writhing, leathery tentacles falls to the ground as she grows. All fabric, nothing. She's completely naked. Biceps, calves, chest, neck all expanding and growing. She stands before me an ogre, a man-eater who tears noble knights into bloody scraps in her cave. Can I say, for the record, it's kinda doing it for me. Didn't take long to repay my debt, Toad. Her voice somehow hasn't changed in the slightest. You would not have survived this. A vicious little bugger, not inclined to be tricked, going for the eyes, and a mouth which cannot fully close. Yes, beautiful. This was designed to kill me, and me especially. Particularly, I moved to the quivering mass on the ground. Damaged beyond saving, it still tries to escape. Since this would not be attracted to the brainless distractions I usually send. Someone knew my pattern. Josephine really did plan this well, didn't she? It would appear so, but I never did care for appearances. I need a lighter. Lighter? Or are you just looking for a flame? But later, aim it towards our new friend, please. Blood, spit, and fire project onto the remains. The shriek gargles as the body bubbles and dissipates. Nothing but air, only a half-consumed eye, and the bones of 3 fingers remain. Sometimes you do hate to be right. Take whatever you want from here, Sublime. We're about to get a little bloody. Well, a little more. There are many things in heaven and hell I do not understand. Enough secrets to repopulate Alexandria. One of them is the source of the affection between Sublime and Andromeda. The two of them could not be more different in temperament or style. My former lover and current partner delighted in glory, war, the wilds. She found her humanity away from civilization. Andromeda, on the other hand, felt the world's comforts had been created for her particular leisure, and in a way it had. She was the power of her generation. Useless pretenders might have managed to kill her, but she could never be replaced. But when we arrive at Gogo's little sanctuary, Andromeda has already answered Sublime's call. She's there. How do they do it? Another secret. I had thought one day I might learn, but it all seems so terribly unlikely now. Monica, covered in a blanket, sits next to a seeming Carol. The wounded daughter stares into the fire, the very portrait of a traumatized victim. Except I'd left a very different Carol in the woods only an hour ago. A mildly manipulated but enthusiastic participant in Josephine's coup d'etat. Precious Anastasia she had been, and she hadn't suffered even a single burn. My work may be good, but skin untouched despite being caught in the flames of hell? It's impossible. Unless, of course, the flesh had already been enchanted. What the fuck? Monica's exceptional self-control had finally hit the roof as a 12-foot-tall, fanged, naked giantess stood half a room away. A friend. I offer the young woman the mildest explanation. Explain. Andromeda turns, seeing the empty socket and the incomplete fist. Who? Josie. Sublime answers, smiling as her friend rises above the ground, floating at her face level and gently stroking the bloody cheek. Morty thinks she's coming for you. The head of our coven doesn't seem upset. A faraway smile spreads gently across her lips. Did you know I can summon a localized hell for the living? A small room, a few enchantments, and a window, so whenever I feel down, I'll peek in and witness her evisceration over and over and... I'm sorry, forgive me, Crone. In her current rage, I have to be careful about this interruption. Formality has its uses, especially when one needs to indicate total subservience. I also busy my actions, going from window to window, looking outwards, closing the door, and whispering little charms. Again, my apologies, guide and queen, a little protection while I explain. But we can't, unfortunately, eternally torture Josephine. She'll need to die. Sounds well-deserved, but what's going on? Gogo stands clapping so a few of her favorites know to fetch chairs. Is this the plot you mentioned before? Precisely, I agree, pacing from one side of the chamber to the other. Pain, understanding safety has finally arrived, throbs through my joints. Last night I mentioned my firm conviction that a rival coven had used our book, the damned tome of whatever, in order to lead the Malleus to our sanctuary, slaughter us, and then take the territory. So this was wrong? Andromeda does not take her eyes from her friend. In a manner of speaking. I have no doubt some other sisterhood is tangentially involved, providing ingredients, maybe farming out a few of their lesser members, but Josephine's involvement became clear this morning when the Malleus attacked me in the park. The fireplace cracks at my approach, the warmth alerting me to how cold I'd been. But, honey, Gogo offers her sweet cough. Not to be overtly critical, but you did rush in unplanned to rescue those lovely girls? Noble, no doubt, but a little stupid. Isn't it possible something was left behind and the Malleus just found you? I offer the slightest bound acquiescence. Very possible. Likely, even. I shot a woman in her own home. Invaded wearing a red cloak, stole a car, kidnapped these two. I stand behind my subjects. Monica instinctively shudders at my presence. It only hurts me because I'm tired. No, it hurts because I'm human. Which is why, if I'd been killed by the witch hunters, no one would have suspected a thing. I'd gotten sloppy, and they are dangerous. But... Josephine could not help but want to see me dead. She projected herself into a window. I noticed her eyes in the reflection. It's what saved my life. Seems foolish, Sublime offers. I'd not told her about my little adventure. She always suffered from vindictiveness. On point, Sublime. I tapped the clock, the anxiety threatening to empty my stomach. But also completely unnecessary if I was the only target. Why the Malleus? My assassination would hardly make her a pariah. No. I was not the primary goal. Andromeda! Gogo's shock and horror spread with slow realization. She wanted to take over the coven. Very good. I marvel at my old friend's speed, but not quite. Because why the Malleus? They don't stop. A biblical plague ends before they do. Nothing until everything but everything is dead. The coven must be destroyed. Such a risk inviting that into our home for a power play, unless they planned on forming their own home elsewhere. This time Andromeda joins in. Does she remember how she rose to power? How many died on that path? Is that what she's thinking about now? But she couldn't do it alone, Andromeda continues. There must be three. Mother, Maiden, Crone, I answer. Gogo, can you help Carol stand over there near the fireplace so we can see clearly? The girl squeaks but says nothing. Go ahead, child. Gogo mutters, a hint of irritation. Carol slowly steps in my direction, the hurt and fear reminding me of last night. She passes in front of Sublime when I ask the giant, Recognize anyone, my gorgeous friend? Sublime's eyes narrow, and she brings her 3 claws under Carol's chin, ready to pierce through the throat. Anastasia. How'd she get here? So sorry to interrupt, but the girl has been in my care for the last 2 nights, and that one has, frankly, been catatonic. Hardly a word passed those lips. Ask her friend. Speak up, Monica. Gogo's pride pricked. She crosses her arms. Gogo is right, I help. That's not Anastasia, but it's also not Carol Brandeis. Tell me, old friend, whose arm am I holding? That's the girl you gave me. Gogo's curved dagger slides from her bodice. Didn't I promise to care for these girls? People you should have left to burn. Andy. Sublime doesn't bother turning towards our leader. That fucking piece of jailbait was with Josephine when they tried to kill me before Toady helped me escape. She returned the favor, I say, not turning away from Gogo. Sublime saved my life. Want to see from what? The fireplace had been prepped while I passed during my pacing, so a simple snap of my fingers causes the sparks to fly across the room. It gathers into a shimmering orb in my gloved palm. Carol attempts to pull away, but finds herself locked, not by my sad attempts to manhandle the team, but rather by the power of Andromeda's raised finger. I press the circle of pure fire against Carol's cheek. Not even the red of a sunburn. She smells sweet, noble crone. That's Josephine's preservation enchantments. It would take an extraordinarily hot flame to damage the skin, like the kind provided by a particular sacrificial spell, flesh-made armor. So what is she protecting? Please, my noble queen, if it is not too much trouble, open her mouth. Andromeda doesn't get the chance. The formerly voiceless now screams, quick, vicious tentacles erupting from the deepest part of her throat, aiming for my own. But I'm ready, forcing the flame down that fleshy monstrosity instantly at ashes, and the girl in front of me deflates, an empty bundle of skin. Part 2 of the trio, I answer. The real Carol, I mean. She's been speaking with other covens, earning favors, gathering ingredients, probably found some nice place to live. But she needed someone to be at home, drive her mother to recklessness, cause enough of a ruckus to get the Malleus's attention, and it had to look like her. So I assumed this skin I'm holding belonged to the missing aunt, the one we all assumed the crazed mother had killed. Family ties do bring in the best magic. So I count 2 conspirators, Andromeda asks, floating down in front of Gogo. Who's number 3? How should I know? The old woman, to her credit, will not break. Allow me to answer that. First, because those things have to be handmade. It's not a demon or spirit. It's got a single purpose, so a puppeteer is necessary. 2, one waited for me at my favorite watering hole. I've only ever taken you there, Gogo. Believe me, I keep a list of who I trust. It's not long. Third, well, when I dealt with Carol, I literally had to carry her. She's catatonic, right? Yet she obeyed you. Too late, Gogo swings her dagger towards Andromeda's face. Our crone turns the blade into spiders, but the traitor simply bolts. She goes to the window, but finds it locked. I'm not actually a pacer, I explain, but I had to make sure you couldn't run. Gogo looks at the giant, the floating instrument of death, me, and then Monica. The poor girl is huddled into the couch, ever more terrified by the passing moments, having lost her friend once again. So what? We failed, fine, but you still need me. I'm the babysitter. I take care of those. Andromeda, it wasn't my idea. At first I thought Josephine meant to kill Mortimer. That's not so terrible. But once we'd started, I couldn't stop. She had me. Listen, Mortimer is dead in the water. We can't use him. The Malleus know. They'll never stop. Same with that little angel, but not me. Do you really want to lose another supporter? The blood begins to drip down Gogo's nose by the 3rd word. By now it's flowing. I feel the need to speak up. Andromeda, please, don't hurt the body too much. I've got a plan, and I'll need her skin. Anything else? Andromeda, my hero, asks. No. Fine. With a wave of her hand, Gogo vomits. Everything. Lungs, guts, small intestines pull themselves out of her pleading lips. You can tell Andromeda keeps her alive from the expression on her face. I move to Monica and cover her eyes. I wish I had the same luxury. Gogo's loyal followers step back as more of her organs pour onto the hardwood floor. Andromeda does have a flair for the dramatic. We know the end is near when the final muscle lands into Andromeda's waiting hands. It's Gogo's heart, still beating. Her crone stands before the enemy and takes the pitiful little drum into her own immaculate palm. Don't think you're safe in hell, Fiona. Andromeda speaks her old ally's true name aloud. My servants will find you. This is only the beginning. One squeeze, and the gentle, steady rhythm dies, filling the room with silence.
I stand over my own body. It's clearly me, even though the remains are covered by a baby blue sheet. The morgue opens up into a playground where I can hear children screaming with joy. A black and white checkered orb rolls across the grass and onto the dirty tiled floor. Kick it back, my dad says, his trim mustache twitching with amusement. We'll play later. But I squeeze the soccer ball right to my chest. It beats in my arms along with my heart. Both are picking up speed. Oh, Dad says, pulling down the cadaver's blanket. We've got a live one. I hiss on the slab, no longer standing or cradling the ball. Rather, my father leans over me, scalpel in hand, to open my neck. Ouch, looks like a meanie. How'd we get this? They hung me, Daddy. Now why would they do that, Princess? I kissed cherry chapstick? Well, you had it coming then, didn't you? Relax, this won't hurt a bit. Then my chest is open, split with cartoonish precision. My father reaches inside me, disappears up to his elbows, then his shoulder, then his feet kick into the air as he falls into the endless nothing within my chest. Finally he struggles free, his mustache dripping blood, staining his grinning teeth. Found it! A screaming mound of flesh whips its beating stumps at me. It pounds in the same familiar rhythm. Look at that, honey! You do have a heart! Sleep falls away immediately. I've never been someone who has issues with lingering dreams. My sense of reality must be absolute. It's a survival response. You might sleep better in a bed, Sebastian growls from the darkness. His leg has healed nicely. He'll probably be okay. I'm still waiting for something to go wrong. A spell we missed, a curse waiting to strike. Someone's got to be here to shoot you just in case. And I've always wanted to kill you, Sebastian. Ah, true love. He blows me a kiss. I smile. You missed a hell of a night. I heard, he mutters, nodding back off. Hope you shot a few for me. As he drifts off, I get up. No going back to sleep. It was a stupid dream. My dad didn't even have a mustache. The halls echo with my steps, but all I hear is the current running in my veins. The heart of my chest might be a fanged monster, but it does the job. Pounds hard enough to sport John Philip fucking Sousa. Can't drink, can't smoke a blunt. I gotta be on high alert in case something goes wrong. There's nothing to take the edge off. My private phone buzzes a few minutes later. My Italian pen pal. Since he offered me his personal email, we've sent a few messages back. A brief thank you, save a villa for me. Him promising to sweep me off my feet. All encrypted, obviously. I've decided to refer to him as Fernando. He doesn't mind the cliché, or the late-night invitation to talk. Temptation, he types. Is it not late across the ocean? I can't sleep, Fernando. Got too much work. Overwork invites death. Relax for a minute. Do something fun. Got any ideas? The 3 dots do not live long across the screen. Let me see if your body matches my dreams, temptation. Did I just fucking giggle? I almost consider it. The hallway is abandoned. I could lean into a corner, lift up my shirt, taste his desire from across the world. But I'm not fucking stupid. So instead I write, sure, but I'm a little cold. I hope you don't mind. I open the door to the morgue. If I'm a little pale. My God, temptation, you're a dirty little bitch, aren't you? The sentence sounds sexier in Italian, but either way, it was hot. Like what you see? Linda's magnificent tits had not been touched by torture or hanging. Our men know better than to mess with art. I risked letting my own hands into the picture so I could press those frozen orbs together. Gloved, of course. Allow me to return the favor. Fernando leaves me waiting for 20 fucking minutes as I hum in the morgue. Timing is everything, Mr. Eurotrash. What the hell? Two things are immediately obvious. One, this is a truly massive cock. And two, it's also from a corpse. My man is clever. Good for him. Scene bigger, I type. Prove it. Cadaver 4C. Open the freezer door and place an 8-ounce Sprite for comparison. The poor plastic bottle should be embarrassed. Feeling insecure? I send along with the pic. No, my darling. There's only one man who's ever made me feel small. In a few seconds, another picture comes through, an entire body laying on the slab. He must be nearly 7 feet tall. His legs sprawl off the much smaller table. Jesus, how big is he? I ask. 7 feet 3 inches, 310 pounds, pure muscle. He tore off the arm of a man, saw it with my own eyes. What a sick fuck. Got a pic? There's Armless, lying on the cobblestone street, anguish splattered across his face as the splintered bone and hanging flesh twitch in the pool of blood. HD video. Hideous, disgusting. But I had it beat. Watch this. I always record the raids, so with a few quick edits to remove all pertinent information, I had a gif at the ready. A demon, only briefly manifested as a reddish cloud of blood, stuffs itself down a man's throat right before he tears out his own eyes. You win, temptation, he writes back. What's your reward? Here's a hint. When I collect, you'll be on your knees. I exit the messaging program. Sleep is starting to creep into the corner of my eyes. I'll wait to see his response in the morning. Give me something to look forward to. Emmy, did you hear me? Of course, I'm sitting less than half a table length away. Her voice hits a register which is impossible to miss. Every syllable is like a siren. I just wasn't fucking listening. Did you find them? I ask. No. Then I don't fucking care. Nothing I see projected across the screen counters the reports I've already checked. 30 dead, 8 captured, 21 faces recorded, 13 have been identified and the other 8 will be. This doesn't require thinking. Any good bureaucracy feeds on certain tasks. Replace every participant, even change most of the rules. A deep-seated habit pushes that organization forward. For us, finding and judging witches identifies that kind of work. Automatic. But tracking down these others, the ones clever enough to hide in the shadows or develop escape routes, I look at my pad, my pencil, as if waiting for a message. The Brandeis daughter, dead and burned. The one who throws demons and abandoned poor Carol to her fate. The other teen survivor, Monica Quinn. Toadman. 1 dead, 3 to go. Toadman didn't have a record. We got a full picture of him during the failed attack. And a face like that inspires nightmares. He'd be remembered. But there's nothing. The other woman provided even less. We didn't get a decent picture. She'd already been in movement on our arrival and used chaos to flee. She'd be hard to track down. Monica would be the easiest. She seemed like a normal girl brought into the machinations of a cruel, demented Cynthia Brandeis. But why was Carol Brandeis at the celebration? Did we get this backwards? Maybe it was the daughter who arranged it all. Learned more intense spells than poor, socially obsessed mummy. Janice, do me a tiny itty-bitty favor. Go through Carol Brandeis' contacts in detail, starting 6 months ago. Let's see if we can find a new scent. Oh, I was hoping to work out some of my post-divorce frustration on our new guests. And Janice does have a way with a poker, but sometimes the job requires what it requires. Sorry, hon, but this is a direction we need to go. I'll contact the brass, see if they can free up some funds. We've got an intense little knot. Let's blast through the fucking thing. Over the next few hours, we do. Janice sends me updates. Easy to miss, but yes, a digital witch's mark. Facebook messages from a neighbor thanking Carol for rescuing her dog. Innocent, hardly. The two new friends go back and forth until they suddenly don't. All communication stops, along with other personal messages. Sure, she still responds to the family chat, sends school-related questions, But the giggling, the secret late-night fantasies, even the anonymous posting, all dry up. Because someone taught Carol how to hide a digital footprint, keep her private life a secret. Eustace Garner is the name. Not useful in itself, but we can break into her cell, laptop, and existence within 20 minutes of the call. Too bad there's no such person to turn upside down. But at least we know the time and place poor dead Carol rescued Sir Fluff-a-Lot. She brought him to Hesta's Cafe. God, witches and their Greek myths. Can you get more cliché? We break into Hesta's Cafe around 3 in the morning. Magic radiates over every sphere. This is a meeting place. A presence suffocates anyone of goodwill. So I'll be fine. My men are ordered to photograph everything and start to go through the material. But leave it all. We want this place to be inviting come dawn. A guard is set. We'll observe for a few more days, see if Eustace comes in, and we'll learn. Might have to settle for a bit. The witches will be nervous after our attack on their little party. My phone buzzes. I click in my ear. Movement at Quinn's apartment. Not the family. They're grieving with relatives upstate. Cops? I don't think so. Someone who doesn't want to be seen. I slide into the van, make my way to the best of our screens. Ready to squint. I hit the comm. Let me see. It takes a moment to peer past the fuzz and the static, but my eyes track movement, and I see someone, about 5'7", making the way across the yard, slowly, ducking behind trees, bushes, and a portable swing, thin enough to hide behind a light pole. The guy seems flat. Confusion in my ear mutters. He's invisible. Nah, that's a shadow. Our friend has enchanted his reflection to sneak in to see if we'll strike. Don't move, but prepare. Once they're safe, he'll enter personally. A different voice kicks in. HQ, this is Dietrich. Should we move to support positioning? No doubt, I affirm. But give it 2 minutes, then back to the original positions. The confusion on the other end is palatable. No one's risking anything in Monica Quinn's house. But we left some goodies over with the Brandizes. That shadow strikes me as a good old-fashioned decoy. Nice if I'm wrong. There's a strong possibility every agent watching Monica Quinn's family home might be murdered without support. These are the chances we take. Hello, my friend, I sing, watching the 2 women enter the Brandeis home. Now to your purpose. Monica leads the way, followed by an older woman. I have the teen's profile memorized. 5'7", Greek and Lebanese heritage. Color of hair, black, cut short in a pixie style. Shade of eyes, hazel green. The earnestness in her pictures. An eager smile with a desperate soul. There she's being pushed. I can see a knife in the older woman's hand, curved. She's taller, but not by much, 5'9", maybe 5'10". Her hair is wild in its curls. Distinctive style of dress, scarf, polka-dotted, blazer with flames, rainbow leggings, mid-40s. Quirky in her aesthetics, brutal with her movements. Monica falls and receives a backhand slap with the handle of the dagger. How'd they arrive? I whisper. Car, parked 3 blocks down. Get a tracer now and be fast. They're going to vanish before our eyes soon. Be ready. The beep in my ear rings again. Talk fast. We found Eustace Gardner, boss. Picture on the wall. Same as the profile, labeled "Thank you, Josephine, for everything." In the receipts, we've got credit card info labeled under Josie, but the number leads to a different ID. I watch the strange woman push Monica aside to turn furiously through Cynthia's old spellbook. She stops, turns a few pages back, and deliberately but carefully rips out a single page. Tell me you have a real name. My grin feels sharp, even to me. Cora Martin? Christ, if my parents stuck me with a title that dull, I'd sell my soul to Satan, too. Do you have an address? Yep. Track her down. Get her under observation yesterday. But don't set the pyre alight yet. Knockoff Miss Frizzle pulls Monica's hair, forcing her up and pushing her towards the door. They make a break towards their 2013 two-door Honda Civic. The tracker is hidden on the inside of the hubcap. Let's see if my 2 hunches prove right, and we can get them all together in one place. A plan begins to form. We'll have to move quick, adjust, but we'll be okay, because we practice. People think improvisation is spontaneous. Wrong. It's practiced every day for hours at a time. A lifetime of work is necessary for that moment of innovation. But as my van begins to move, the Honda appears on another little screen as a small electric pulse, while confirmation buzzes in my ear that Eustace Josephine Cora had been spotted. My boys have already gotten the cell phone number. We'd have a line cloned within minutes. Thankfully, we have access to goodies the average nation can only imagine. God bless America. Comes together not a moment too soon. The call comes in from our girl in the Honda. Fate is leading us to surround them. I don't trust good luck, but I listen. Josie, it's Go-Go. Where the hell have you been? What happened? Mortimer saves Sublime. Fuck, the girl? How open-minded of Toadman, I thought to myself as I remembered the girl's shattered skull. Dead? What about Andromeda? Went off to meet Mortimer, who should be the one on the fucking ground. There's no time. We have to leave. They're going to kill us all and flee. The Malleus is all over. That's true. We can meet at the Arboretum, Josie recommended. Nah, don't trust B. Let's start at Mother of Mercy, then we'll jump ship. I've got this useless child on my hip. Worst case scenario, we'll feed her to the hunters to buy us some time. Shame. Monica had to die, it's true. She tried her hand at magic and by this point knew far too much. But the kid hardly deserved that fate. I'd keep her death clean. Boss, should we have a team ready at the church? Buzz, buzz, an irritating scratchy tone invades my ear. Charles, a half-wit, waiting to be scratched behind his ears. I ignore him. Janice, send me a map. I want to know what's in the area. It's in front of me as I turn to the new computer. The church was there. Every bone in my body feels that this is a trap. Not for us, but for Josephine. The carefully unconsidered tone Go-Go used to suggest Mom of Mercy. We don't want to be caught up in that again. Shut down this infested temple, folks. Did we get another number? Of course we did. Good job, boys. First move. Send the text from Josie Baby to Go-Go. Church down. Meet at West 32nd Street. Close enough to be convenient, but still seems secure. A warehouse. Plenty of places to escape, right? Then send the same message to the curly-haired bitch. Then we'll all get together now. Like I said, improvisation comes from practice. Go-Go received the change in plans first. She called to confirm, and I answered. The static helps to hide the identity. The voice modulator does the rest. Construction, plus I thought I saw the hunters. No time, going silent. Josie didn't bother to verify, simply sent a thumbs up. It became clear as we followed these two who the mastermind had been. With a change in venue, Go-Go sensed a danger. She turned a corner, then again. We lose visual, only for a second, but the car keeps going, beeping on my screen. Right into the ocean. She'd abandoned the vehicle and took the girl. We'd lost her. No worries, I calmed the apoplectic sergeant. She's still coming, and we'll still be waiting. We drive behind one of the parked tankers. The survey team beat us by 10 minutes. Cameras have already been installed, a drill put through the ceiling so we can watch from above. Even with my training, I'm not able to catch a shadow. Our boys are the best. Josie and the Pussycats coming through entrance 4. Stand by and wait for go. A BMW pulls right next to the door. This is not a woman who likes to walk. Her elegance is noted, younger than I expected, definitely not as old as her conspirator. She checks her phone compulsively. Walk in, I mutter. Do it. She obeys. And we join her in waiting 10 minutes. Our men are still and present as death. Finally, we hear the gentle vibration of a different engine. A Kia Soul, no doubt freshly acquired. This parks from further away, near a different tanker, hidden from any observer in the parking lot, but not from the adjusted rooftop camera. We get a perfect view of the two women as they leave the vehicle. Monica, clearly crying, the other, equally obvious, not giving two fucks about it. She pushes her sacrifice ahead. Wait until she steps inside, and remember, folks, we are the punishment of God. If they had not committed great sins, we would not have fallen upon them. Go-Go wasted no time making it across the parking lot, lost lamb at her side. I see them enter from my screen, 3 targets all in place. Josephine moves to greet, shouting, no doubt, her hands flying about, demanding explanations. The curly-haired friend attacks. No words I can hear, just murderous rage. Go in, boys. Don't let them take this from us. The stun grenades should do more. All it seems to accomplish is distracting Go-Go from throttling her bestest friend in the whole world. Go-Go pushes the screaming teenager in front of a hail of bullets, both which try to scatter, but we're coming in from every door and window. Josephine has grown those same demonic wings she used before. One trick pony. But there is no open night sky, no escape above the earth. Those wings only provide a target as the leathery skin punctures and her body tears apart. She's dead before she hits the ground. Gogo decides flight is not an option. She'll take as many of us with her as possible. Her arms explode, the limbs splitting into masses of rotting flesh that wrap their tendrils around the neck of one, down the gullet of another. Both men die fighting. But even a monster of this massive size has limits. Still, it's hard to tell whether her gut bursts open from another round of gunfire, or that's simply the price she pays to summon dozens of beetles and scarabs which burrow through our men's Kevlar like dung, consuming their way through skin into organs. Their screams hit me, and I briefly look away in weakness, and I see a shadow creeping out of the parked Kia. The trunk has been opened, and an ugly little man is walking away. Toad man. I grab my gun. Safety off. He's going through the back. I know the perfect place for an ambush. He's too dangerous to mock. Step by step, making sure my shoes do not echo or even scrape the asphalt. With 9 breaths, I'm in place. I can hear him moving. Quiet, but not silent. He'll turn around the tanker any minute. I aim where his head will be. His large, bulging eye reflects in the moonlight. Cobalt blue and weeping pus, the perfect target. I smile and pull the trigger. Except I don't. It doesn't happen. The final shot, the sudden release, even my fucking grin. I'm fucking frozen. Toadman turns with genuine surprise. The gun seems to confuse him. How can a creature so obviously diabolical look so goddamn stupid? How'd you find me? I could have sworn I lost you when I switched cars. His small hands wave, and half his face twitches into a cubist attempt at a smile. You can talk. I almost don't, because fuck him, but I need to buy time. I answered, Josie Poo, we found her, bugged the phone, we know all sorts of things. Brought you here in case you'd set up a trap at Mother of Mercy. And indeed I had. Very clever, Agent. Yes, quite. We arranged a plethora of delights for you, dearest Josephine, and any men cursed enough to follow your orders. The monster in there is only a taste of my former master's power. I'd looked forward to watching some of you transform into swine. Former master, did you have a breakup? Well, I can hardly stay here. With this face on your cameras? We've taken care of all the souls you'd caught. Cal Brandeis, Monica Quinn, Josephine. We even threw in the corpse of my close friend Gogo for free. Screams intensify. He peeks around my shoulder, but satisfied, returns to our conversation. We're not going to stop. Naturally, most of the coven used this lovely distraction to flee. A few might stay and hide, but I have doubts. It's a good thing. I worried you might not fall for my trick. What witch would return to the scene of the crime? But it didn't matter. You'd already tracked down Josephine. What a gifted predator you must be. Goodbye. Wait, I say. And he does. That stupid fucking expression plastered over his face, as if I confused him yet again. But I still needed time. How'd you do this to me? I manage. Keep him talking. My charms protect me from this kind of bullshit. You don't even know my name. Mortimer smiles. There is more than one way to form a connection between souls. Maybe we are former lovers punished by the gods to do battle in our next life. Or maybe he pulls a small charm from beneath his clothes around his neck. Golden red, as if it was still being forged. The shape is familiar, like rediscovered piece of homemade pottery. A bullet. You've already tried to kill me. He holds the metal in his open palm, his skin blisters. A bullet fired with the intention of killing. That makes it intimately yours. I fetched it from here, my shoulder. Me, the chosen target. Can you imagine a more intense bond than Cain and Abel, murderer and victim? There's powerful magic in that. So I fashioned a little charm. It is a poetic event. One might call it fate. If any other goon had pulled that trigger, I'd be dead. Voices in the distance, coming from the van. The boys were looking for me. Goodbye, madam. I'd rather not get their attention, so he turned to go, leaving me as if I didn't matter. Monica Quinn's not dead, is she? Toadman stops, and I know. If this thing had done all of this to protect that girl, he wouldn't let her walk into his sacrifice. Why? Why protect her? Who the fuck knows? But I was right, and he knew it. Knew he'd given it away by his response. He knew I'd find her. Far too clever, Agent. His sneer and smile changed nothing on his face, but I felt the difference. Shame to waste a bullet in the chamber. Put it in your mouth and pull the trigger. I open my jaw. The metal scrapes the roof of my mouth, sends drips of blood along the side of the barrel. All my other senses blur. I think I hear his steps fade away, maybe voices of concern.
Quick, over here.
No idea. My finger burns, twitches. I want to pull, not because I'm sad or angry. He didn't do it that way. I'm still me. No, it's a new compulsion. I'm fighting the urge to breathe. A vibration tears through my body, demanding relief. I know there's nothing I can do. The last thing a child trapped under ice does is swallow mouthfuls of water. Nothing will stop this instinct. Except maybe the same instinct. I push the gun further inside, hit the back of my throat, then another inch. Too much, and this newly implanted command competes with the older urge. My body will not allow me to choke. It casts out the invader. My vomit splatters across the pavement, and at least 3 people. Projectile indeed. The adrenaline, the terror fuel every muscle as it purges whatever might have betrayed me. Even after I've deposited my dinner, lunch, and yesterday's midnight snack, I'm not done. Hands against the tanker, sweat pouring from my face, I heave until there's nothing but sticky white mucus. None dare speak until I finally manage. Clean all that up. Now, I don't want to see it, not a trace. We'll destroy everything here. Get me headquarters. How many did we lose? 9, boss. Not bad, boys. Let's finish up here. Unless you're waiting around for a kiss. Days go by, and we find a few stragglers, mostly witches who escaped the party we raided, but not our cameras. No sign of Toadman. He'll not reappear soon, but someday. In the meantime, we're going to take a few weeks. Italy sounds nice, and I've got some accrued vacation, a promised villa, and an eager guide. I plan on using all 3.
I'll follow you wherever you go. Stay close to you, 'cause darling, you're my home.
Hiya, I'm LJ.
And I'm Lane McLeod Jackson.
You're a troll.
What? I thought it was funny.
We're here to let you know you can also find us on Substack under...
Paperback Productions.
Yep, this podcast and other goodies will be delivered right to your inbox if you subscribe.
So please support us.
Emotionally.
Financially.
Dramatically. See, I can be funny too.
Try to be professional, okay, babe? Thank you all for your support.